So it's funny, Big Mace, you mentioned Raider basketball on Saturday night because I attended Raider basketball on Friday night.
Yeah.
Friend of the program, Titty Hoops. And, I wanted to see how the new guy did. I wanted to see the new guy's introduction.
I like it.
And so we round up the whole crew and we go. And by whole crew, I mean everybody, which is an adventure in and of itself. But we watched Raiders win. But there was a point in the game where a lucky fan got escorted out by another friend of the program, Coach Buning, Scott Buning, athletic director, Southridge High School, on a call situation that really I didn't think warranted it. But the part that it got me to was, why in the world or how in the world do you get to the point where you get ejected out of a high school sporting event?
I've seen it firsthand.
I mean, it's wild to me.
Yeah.
Like this guy literally and
She shotgunning beers or something?
no, there was a call, didn't agree with it, and there was a timeout called or something. And so they were at the respective benches or whatever was going on, and it was Scott Yarborough was on the call or he was officiating.
Yeah.
Scott does a great job.
Yeah.
I think we got a lot of officials here in Holland, southwest side of the town there, the Pruse boys, Nick, those guys do a great job. Don calls a good game. And I've always thought Yardy does a great job. They do an excellent job. And there must have been something said or something, and Yardy just get him out of here. And I look up and I see what in the hell's going on? And Buning
Was it
it was a Washington fan.
Say it was an opposing fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he literally, everything stops. And there's a pretty good crowd. Everything stops to watch this jackass get escorted out of a high school basketball game.
Walk of shame, baby.
First game of the year.
Yeah.
Ejected. And it's probably not the only time he'll get ejected this year.
So I have been ejected from a Little League baseball game, All-Star game, after the game was over.
Well, then you weren't ejected.
You weren't
Well,
ejected. You just asked not to come back.
No. I told the umpire that he was the worst. It was actually the base umpire, which, by the way, I can't. The guy the feller's name slips my mind right now. But we see each other all the time. And hey, buddy, and he's like, hey. I think he helps out up there at a local establishment in Hamburg. Anyway, but I told him he was the worst umpire I'd ever seen in my entire life. It was the last out. We lost the game. The game was over. They were getting ready to line up, shake their hands, and I'm walking off, and I'm like, you're the worst umpire I've ever seen. He's like, you're out of here. And I'm like, the game's already over. F you. You know what I mean? Whatever. But I can totally see how it happens, man.
How?
What do you mean? People get super competitive. They get really involved. They're ate up with
Somebody got asked to leave the middle school game the other night.
Really?
Yeah. Well, Father Time was one of the what do you call him in basketball?
Referees.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Dave.
Old Man River, huh?
Yeah. He had astigmatism, and I thought at first he was actually blind because from the side you can't see in his glasses because all
They're that thick.
the
Oh,
lines were
good grief.
astigmatism.
Oh, shoot.
yeah.
And he was just making some just terrible calls. The Reeboks he had from 1982 that he was wearing though.
Was he pumping him up?
No, these were
Pump it up.
pre-pump up.
Pump it up.
And
Excuse me, sir. 1985 called. They need their tennis shoes back.
but opposing team dad, something about effing ridiculous, and then one of the dads, Martin's like, "Hey man, it's 6th grade basketball."
Yeah.
And then there was a "F you," it's your effing kid, and they were like, "Hey, out of here."
We
He never left, but
oh boy, really?
Yeah.
Nobody with enough balls to tell him to get out, huh?
I guess not.
I got told that. So going back to the game that I was watching with my own son, it's stupid. And I played that guy. I was that guy. The referees that were volunteer high school students that were the biggest non-whistle blowing suckers I've ever been around. I just blow the damn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't know how to, that's the crazy thing. If you're going to volunteer to be a referee, you need to learn how to blow a whistle first.
So I feel
blow the damn whistle. So anyway, it wasn't your normal run of the mill Euro step. It was a full 3 different pivot foot travel. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and I just said with my my inside fan, big boisterous voice, that's a travel. Which another opposing fan doesn't say it to me, just says it in general, that's sitting 4 or 5 rows below me. It's 5th grade basketball, dude. They're both traveling. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You have a very valid point. But in this position, in this specific situation, I would like for the referee to call the travel to make it a turnover to give our team the ball back.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Now,
my deal.
You guys and all you in Wonderland know that I'm not a sports guy.
Real big sports guy.
In the history of sports, has a fan input ever caused a call to be overturned?
Ever.
No.
Then why in the hell does everybody keep talking?
Well, because it's just, you know.
So, as a former official,
Oh, God.
there was a year I was gonna do it. I don't know. I kinda got
Baseball or basketball?
basketball.
Oh, God.
I got talked into it.
You run up and down the floor like
Yeah.
that? Yes, okay.
Yeah, and it
Should have seen Father Time. By God, he'd get to the other end in time for the team to go back. And
put his little head down, and start chugging the other way.
that was the problem. He couldn't see when he was running. That's when he was making all the calls. He was looking at his feet.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I did games here in Holland because I was like start out at the 5th and 6th grade level, then work your
Dip
way
your
up.
toes in.
And during the end season, like it really wasn't too bad. But I mean, what they paid then is not close to what they pay now. But I mean, it's still paid great down there.
We talked about it last night,
And
what they're making.
it's unreal. It's unreal what those guys make right now. Because I mean, it was paid well then to come in and do 5th grade. And like you said, like you probably wanted to travel. Like my whole thing on some of that was be cognizant of what level it is.
Yeah.
Like if it's of a little
God,
bit of an
yeah.
issue, like you're gonna let some go. Like if it's something like that where a kid picks up ball, starts walking, like you got to call. Like
First quarter, give them the benefit of the doubt.
yeah,
Second quarter, stiffen up a little bit. If it's a close game, you get into the second half, start blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well, and
because my stance is, if you don't blow the whistle, and it's in the latter part of the game, and it is a close game that's evenly matched. Last night we had a game, and it was not evenly matched. We won 200-3. You know what I mean?
see, in some of those, you
No
gotta
whistles were blown, and it was fine because we didn't want the clock to stop because we wanted to get over with.
Well, and I think in those situations, you got to let. We had one over here. It was a 5th grade
Mhm.
girls B basketball game.
Yes,
and it
was terrible. I guarantee it was terrible. 'Cause
Yeah.
that it's the same situation. Now, the game that I was referring to was a close game. It was only won by like 3, I think, at the end. But they were very evenly matched teams, and we were both making mistakes. What does that teach the kid that makes said mistake? Now, calling fouls like ticky-tack fouls and shit like that. That doesn't matter.
You
to
could
me.
call a foul every trip down the court.
100%. You know, somebody's too strong on the body. You got reaching in here. You got, over the back. You got all this other stuff. Yeah, exactly. Personal foul,
People's
after,
elbow.
whatever that is. But like your travel, your double dribble, your carrying, these simple things like that the kids need to learn.
Yeah.
Listen to me on my soapbox. But what I'm saying is
Mace.
like, you know what I mean? Like I feel at a certain
I get
point.
it. But I think the problem that I have with it is, as one that has to schedule an official or an umpire and a base umpire for a lot of nights down at Southside Park.
You can't run them off.
It is brutal, and you don't see people
lining up to do it.
And I didn't mind doing it. Like when I did it, I enjoy. Like I said, I enjoyed the end season. Did a couple 8th grade games. And then I had a trip to Vegas planned. And so I did some of these after the season travel tournaments. And I forget what school this lady was from, but it was over there at Forest Park. And she called me everything but a white man.
Have you ever heard of an umpire getting thrown out?
I've never had an umpire get thrown out.
I've personally witnessed a behind-the-plate umpire tell a fan to shut the F up, you fat effing B, like through the fence.
He wasn't talking to you.
No, he was not talking to me. He didn't
TikTok
call me,
user 679.
He didn't call me a fat bitch. But I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like that behind the plate umpire just said that to a fan. I've seen somebody 2 times in my life have I seen a fan get ejected. Well, I seen one guy get ejected from Memorial Gym, and I seen one guy get ejected from Beekler Arena over in Ferdinand for throwing things on the floor. I don't understand that.
Now that's where it gets wild.
Which we don't need. We won't delve too far into that.
We don't dip our
What
toes
all
in that water.
sports have whistles for the umpires?
Why?
What sports? Baseball don't have no whistles.
No. Football, basketball,
volleyball, soccer.
volleyball.
Do you have your own whistle, or do they provide them?
Yeah, you're
Oh,
on.
I have my own Fox 40 Classic.
Yeah, those are the only ones to use.
Because just the whole time you're talking, I just can't imagine how funny it'd be to switch somebody's whistle out, one of those little pecker whistles you see at the bachelorette parties. So that might be my new goal in life, is to.
Yeah, I don't think you would really show up to any sporting event where like a whistle, like if you were a paid referee.
I didn't know if maybe they provided you with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think if you were a paid referee, I don't think that you would have to be supplied a whistle. So therefore, the old
What's a whistle cost?
I don't know. I've never bought one. It was given to me.
Oh, those Fox 40s are probably 2 in a pack for probably Amazon of $8-10.
Yeah, but
They're
they're
not bad.
They're good though.
But I do want to go back to something. I will say, Coach Haywood,
intense.
I like it.
I do too.
There
That's what
was
I'm saying.
there was a 3. I played for a fiery guy in high school when I played basketball. Wheel,
Oh,
Steve Russ.
no
And that-
passion ever, baby.
Hey,
Right
that
there.
guy. This was when he was bigger, so the foot stomp echoed a little bit.
Oh, I love it.
He'd stomp his foot, and you didn't know if you were either going to get an attaboy or he was going to mother you to Sunday, because it went either way with him. Loves
Couch
playing for
guy
Will.
said his shoe exploded one time when he stomped.
I
so
believe
loud,
I
yeah.
believe it. And
Sounds
then,
like a temper tantrum.
Oh
No, no.
It's passion.
Stomping feet.
It's passion.
well, not all
Just
the time.
one foot.
To get your attention.
Oh.
Just 1 foot.
He wanted to get your attention.
Flat on the gym floor. Bam! It was loud.
Yeah. And then baseball with Coach Kaish, he was a fiery guy.
Oh god.
But I saw there was Southridge had fallen down a little bit in the third, and I don't know, one of them hit a 3 in the corner, and like the bench didn't react very well, and he started turning around, he started mother effing the bench, and I was
well, not literally.
no, he
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
He
There's
was,
no expletives exclaimed at
Yeah.
children.
No, there was nothing to that. It was a hey, let's like, are you not in it? It was kind of like one of those, are you not entertained? Like one of those deals. And they got their happy ass up and they
That's
started
right.
clapping. But he's
So,
a fiery guy.
I love it too. Yeah, getting ejected from a high school sporting event, it happens. I can see it where people get caught up in the moment. They don't think, they just react.
Yeah, but there's enough. But when there's
Yeah.
a timeout called
Yeah.
and it's over the bench and like something was said or done.
Yeah,
for,
that's dumb.
But I think like one of the things that need to happen with this though too is these people need to be publicly shamed. Because oh yeah.
Boy.
Well, but I mean, like, how are they going to learn? Like, sit there and keep your mouth shut. Like, just it's that easy.
Hang them high in the street, boys. Bring them up there to Courthouse Square. Let them rip. Yeah. Can you
feather.
believe what that boy did there at the ball game last night? Called that referee a no good ugly zebra. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get it.
Tar and feather, this son of a bitch.
Right.
Yeah, but damn.
Then
Smoke
we
dog,
got
what you got, man?